Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Kelsey. Today I'm going to guide you through a Yin Yoga practice that targets the Lung Meridian and the Large Intestine Meridian. These are the meridians of the season of autumn. So Yin Yoga is informed by traditional Chinese medicine and five element theory. And these traditional ways of viewing health really focus on balance within an individual amongst the elements that are naturally occurring there. So there's these ideas of meridians or energetic lines that run through the body that carry energy to our vital organs. They carry not just things like bodily fluids such as your blood and other important fluids, but your chi or your life force. So from this perspective, we want there to be a healthy flow of chi, a healthy flow of energy through the meridians, and this is specifically important for the lung and the large intestine meridian during the season of autumn. These meridians are primarily focused in the arms and the shoulders, like the front sides of the arms and into the shoulders, into the neck. Also, these energies or these meridian lines can have not just a physical influence on us with our physical health, but also an influence on our emotional well-being and our mental health. So the emotion associated with autumn, whenever there's an imbalance, is the emotion of grief. So if we think about what's happening around us during the season of autumn, the leaves are falling from the trees, our garden is likely no longer thriving as it was in summer. We're beginning to harvest what is ripe, and we're beginning to compost what has been overripe or what has not been used or even made it to harvest. So we can see reflected in the earth this energy of letting things go. And that is a natural part of life, but it's a little bit harder to swallow whenever it's a sudden letting go, a sudden loss perhaps. So this doesn't just apply to the actual season of autumn that happens from the autumn equinox to the winter solstice. It's also speaking to a season of life that one might be in. So these poses that influence the meridians can also give us some energetic and emotional benefit as well as physical benefit. Okay, so we're going to begin in a pose called lung bench. This is the only pose that we're doing that requires props. So if you don't have traditional yoga props, like I have a bolster, I have a block, you can just use some pillows that you have, couch cushions, bed pillows. Basically, you just want to create some type of structure where your rib cage is going to be elevated. So if you're using a bolster like I do, I'm taking the bolster the wide ways of the mat towards the top third of the mat. And then I'm taking the block to the very top of the mat. And so this will be supporting my head. Again, however you choose to set this up at home, just making sure that the rib cage gets elevated, that your shoulders are floating away from the mat, your arms are reaching out in a T shape, and there's something supporting the back of your head. Once you arrive here, making sure that everything feels okay. Take your time. Maybe your feet stay grounded, or maybe you extend your legs long. That's the option I'm going to take today. Start to slow down your breath, extending your inhales, lengthening your exhales. So as you might expect, with the lung meridian being a key focus in our autumn practice, we also are really focusing on the way that we're breathing, calming the mind with slow, steady breaths. And throughout practice, your mind will naturally wander. You can use this function of your mind to focus on what your intention is for your practice. Kind of multitasking between inquiry and then focusing on your breath. Maybe you have an intention around this theme of healing grief, letting go of things with ease instead of being overly attached. Autumn reminds us that everything changes, and that there's beauty in that. We don't have to be afraid. We can surrender to change. Take another breath in through your nose here. And let something go as you sigh out. Start to slide your feet back in towards your body. Roll over to one side and press your way up. We're going to move the props out of the way, not needing them anymore, and then come down to laying on your belly. From your belly, we're moving into a pose called open wing. So you're going to reach your right arm out beside you, palm face down. My left hand is underneath my left shoulder right now. Turn your right ear to your mat and then roll onto your right side. From here, you might like to just bend your knees in towards your body, stacking your legs on top of each other. Or you might like to step your left foot back, pointing that left knee towards the ceiling, and maybe using your right foot like a kickstand, placing it to the inside of the left leg. Left hand can rest in front of you, or it can reach behind towards the lower back, opening through the chest even more. Make sure that you're softening in your jaw and your neck. In Yin Yoga, we don't want to be doing any muscular effort. We don't want to be pushing ourselves into poses, and we don't want to be resisting the natural pull of gravity. We come into each pose at our edge, and then we soften and get still. Anytime you notice your mind wandering away from what's happening on the four corners of your mat, come back into the present moment, back into your body, back to your breath. Take another breath in here. Exhale, release your left hand in front of you if it was behind your back. Extend your legs, and then let's all roll to the belly again. Slowly and mindfully releasing that pose. Stack your forearms or your hands, and then take a moment resting your forehead on the backs of your hands. Soften your glutes. Feel that release in your shoulders and your chest before we move to the opposite side. Next breath in, lifting your head. Reach the left arm out beside you, palm down. Roll onto the left side and either stack your legs in or step the right foot behind you. Maybe using your left foot like a kickstand this time. Right hand stays in front or right hand behind the lower back. Soften your jaw, soften your neck and your shoulders. Every breath in, feeling a spaciousness throughout your body. Every breath out, letting go, surrendering. One more breath in here. Exhale, right hand in front of you if it's not there already. Extend your legs, roll onto your belly. And then once again, let's stack the hands or the forearms and rest the forehead down. Take a few breaths here to really feel the release of the pose. From here, lift your head, slide your hands under your shoulders, press into the hands to roll up into table. Knees are right underneath your hips, hands are right under the shoulders to start. And then moving into our melting heart pose from here. Basically, all you need to do is drop the elbows right where the hands were. Make sure that the hips stay over the knees as you reach your arms straight forward from your shoulders. Forehead rests down to the mat. If this feels a little bit too much and it's too challenging for you to remain here for the duration of the pose, you can always grab your bolster or another pillow of sorts and bring it underneath your heart space so that your heart has something to rest down on and there's not as much pressure in the shoulders. Taking slow, steady, deep breaths here. This is a big pose. There's no reason to press yourself deeper right away. Allow your body to soften over time. You'll find that you get more out of the pose whenever you simply let go of the attachment to getting to a certain place. Over time, depending on how you're feeling in your shoulders today, you might like to experiment with bringing your lips to your mat. Over time, that could evolve into your chin resting on your mat, bringing your heart closer to your mat. One more breath in, and exhale, lift your head, press into your arms, slide your hands back into your tabletop pose again. From here, we're moving into thread the needle, so getting a little bit more compression through the front of the left shoulder. All you need to do is thread the left arm under your body, left shoulder, left ear resting down onto your mat, and right hand resting up towards the top of the mat. I mentioned this in my last class, but I just recently got bangs, so I'm getting used to them kind of being in my face in some of these poses. In this pose, you might like to let the right shoulder drop more so down towards the floor, maybe even your forearm resting on the mat instead of keeping that elbow lifted. And this is definitely a pose where finding the balance between how much effort you're putting into staying in the pose and how much you can soften and let go, where that balance lies. Take another breath in. Exhale, slide your right hand back and press down to come into table again. If there's any little wiggles that feel good to you after that deep shoulder stretch, take time for that now. And we're simply going to transition to the opposite side. Right arm threads under your body, right shoulder and right ear down to your mat. Reach the left hand towards the top of the mat, or maybe just let the left forearm rest down next to your head. Compression in the front of the right shoulder and expansion through the back of the right shoulder. Maybe getting a nice stretch for the outer bicep as well. No tension in the neck or the jaw. And only using as much effort as is necessary to be in the pose. Practicing softening and letting go with every breath out. One more breath in. Exhale, left hand comes back next to your face. Press down, slowly rise up. Back into your tabletop pose. From here, just come around to take a seat. Any little wiggles that feel good in your shoulders and your ribs and in your back are welcome as you make your way here. And we'll end our Autumn Yin practice with a neck release. Not holding this one for as long. Just make sure that you're sitting up nice and tall. Let your right arm rest down beside you, fingertips just resting onto your mat. And then reach the left arm around, grab a hold of either the wrist, the forearm, or the elbow crease. And then feel that opening in the front of your chest as you let your right ear drop over your right shoulder. Graceful bow. Imagine that you could breathe directly into the left side of your neck. And just like all of our other poses, not tensing into your jaw. Whenever we kind of tense into those smaller muscles in the face, it communicates to the rest of the body to also be tight and tense. So whenever we can consciously let go of that tension, you'll find that the rest of your body follows suit. Next, breath in, release what you're holding on to, and then use your right hand to the right side of your head to help your head return up to center before releasing the right hand down. Your head is about 10 pounds of weight, give or take, so after we've been relaxing and softening through one side of the neck, it's nice to give a little bit of support. We're going to do that on the other side. So you're going to let your left fingertips rest down beside you, reach the right arm around, grabbing a hold of, again, the wrist, the forearm, or the elbow crease. Pulling the shoulders back and down, and then left ear over left shoulder for our last pose before Savasana here. Breathing into the right side of the neck, softening the jaw. Next, breath in, releasing what you're holding on to. Again, left hand comes to the left side of your head and help your head return to upright before releasing the left hand down. Just a couple more breaths here in upright to acknowledge the way that your neck and your shoulders feel, as well as how you feel energetically. From here, fluttering your eyelids open, and make your way onto your back. Now, if you had props or pillows around, I invite you to bring either your bolster or some of those pillows underneath the backs of your knees, so that as you recline down onto your back, your lower back can rest a little bit more neutrally. This is one of my favorite ways to set up for Shavasana. It's so simple but so effective. If you also have something to go under your head, you're welcome to bring something there. And let your arms rest wherever's comfortable. Turkey just entered the room. She's making herself known. She's probably going to come and lay on my belly. So if you have a furry friend nearby, go ahead and give them some love. And then we'll be here for just a little bit of time. Resist the urge to skip out on this very important portion of your practice. You'll hear my voice whenever it's time to come back. Until then, enjoy your Shavasana. remaining just as you are. Start to take some deeper breaths in and out through your nose. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Roll your wrists and your ankles. Making these movements a little bit bigger over time. Eventually you could take a big full body stretch. Breathing in to stretch long. And breathing out to let it all go. Draw your knees into your body. Give yourself a really big hug. Wrap yourself up in so much love as you rock side to side. And then in your own time, roll over to whichever side feels best to you. Press your way up to a comfortable seat. There's no rush. And whenever you arrive here in your seat, take a moment to acknowledge how you feel energetically, physically, emotionally. Take a moment to feel gratitude and appreciation for having this time today to go inward, to tend to your emotional self and your mental well-being. Appreciate all that fell into place so that you could be here today. And with this gratitude in our hearts, palms together in front of the heart, Anjali Mudra, closing with one chant of Om. Wherever you are in your breath, release the air and empty out your lungs. Big breath in through the nose. And exhale to chant Om. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today and allowing me to guide you. I hope this practice has served you well. Thank you, Turkey, for joining us. Let me know how this practice went for you in the comments down below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I put out a new class every single Sunday completely for free. And sometimes I throw a special one in there during the week for fun or for special occasions. So I hope to see you there in a practice in the future. And until then, namaste.